I was working late when I stumbled onto a murder scene. I froze against the wall, my heart hammering in my chest. Only after the man dragged the body away did I bolt blindly toward the nearest restroom. But the moment I pushed the door open, I saw the company's security guard lying on the floor already dead. Instinctively, I crouched to check on him, but my hand brushed the flush sensor. The sound of rushing water erupted. Panicking, I locked the door and, just to stay out of sight, climbed up and stood over the body. I hadn't even caught my breath when the man barged in. I nearly lost it. Any second he could have come over to deal with the corpse. My brain raced, and at the last second, I slipped off the body and slid into the next stall without a sound. Just as I was about to exhale, the toilet's motion sensor light flicked on. In another second, it would give me away. I timed it perfectly, pressed the flush at the exact moment he did. The sound masked my presence. He didn't suspect a thing and walked out. When the hallway finally fell silent, I stumbled out of the bathroom straight into another coworker working late. I quickly told him what had happened. We both sprinted for the elevator, only to find it shut down. We ran to the emergency exit, but it was locked too. Every escape route was sealed. We had no choice but to return to the office. I told him to use his computer to call the police while I grabbed my phone from my desk. That's when I saw the man coming our way. My coworker hadn't closed the screen. The killer was almost on top of us. His eyes flicked toward the glowing monitor. We shrank under the desk, barely daring to breathe. Luckily, he didn't suspect anything, just shut off the computer and left. As soon as his footsteps faded, we peeked out and ran the other way. Then I remembered the boss was still somewhere in the building. I told my coworker to keep trying the police and ran to warn him, but the office was empty. My coworker finally found his phone, but instead of dialing 911, he called his wife. The line had barely connected when the man appeared behind me. By the time I made it back to the office, my coworker was gone. I didn't think, just grabbed my phone to call the cops, but it wouldn't work. I looked down and saw the battery was dead. I scrambled to plug it in. When I turned around, my coworker's body was lying right next to me. My mind went blank. Before I could react, the killer was already coming back. By sheer luck, I managed to hide again and avoided him. While he was busy moving the body, I darted into the supply closet. I watched him through a crack until his gaze suddenly shifted straight toward me. I held my breath. Then his phone rang. He kept dragging the body closer as he answered, step by step. Despair closed in on me, and then he stopped. He turned and walked toward my desk. It was my girlfriend calling. He hung up, scrolling through my photos and contacts. In that instant, I knew he'd figured out someone else was still alive in the building. I escaped just in time, but every exit was locked. Forced back inside, I slipped into another room. I lit a piece of paper and held it against the smoke detector, trying to trigger the alarm, but nothing happened. Through the window, I caught sight of someone in the building across the street. I climbed onto a desk and waved frantically, but they didn't notice me. Meanwhile, the man was moving from room to room, searching, getting closer with every step.